Good afternoon and good morning,
Please.
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Please, the
Thank
floor
you
is
very much.
yours.
Thank you so much. So I would like to start from here, from the quest for sustainability. If you go to the next slide, I would like to start to some of the trends that we do see at this point of time. These are intimately connected to the sustainability topic and putting the human at the center, as clearly stated in the previous panel. So we can go to the next slide. We do see these emerging significant trends that are clearly, we do see at the forefront of change. And the driver for all this action is, at the end of the day, to create a more resilient and sustainable operation that can not only withstand significant disruption, but can help drive leaner, more agile organization, where again, as it was stated before, the human experience is going to be at the center, and why not even delightful. As we've seen recently, remote monitoring, for example, control of operation is critical in minimizing the operational disruption. This caused by any numbers of factors, both natural and man-made. And we have also, the worker safety. We do see in these few months, this is a really a paramount consideration as the new regulatory guidelines and worker safety protocols are being employed more and more and differently at factories. This is having a significant impact on the production environment, extending from the shift start times to the supplying workers with PPE, especially in this moment. So this is really something at the core of what we are seeing here. And then digital acceleration is going to kick into gear as we see manufacturers look for a solution to increase the automation of the shop floor, with technologies, with IT, OT technologies, convergence, but also artificial intelligence, machine learning, as we have stated before. Onshoring is another one. Onshoring of operation is a clear trend that is already heavily taking off. And finally, and this is the one that I would like to discuss a little more with you today, we are already seeing a tremendous growing adoption of what we call the virtual twin technology. And we expect to see this accelerates from a kind of selective application within some specific projects, kind of POC, as we call it, proof of concept, to strategic adoption as part of a larger manufacturing transformation approach. So in the next slide, I would like to show you that these key trends, in our opinion, need a strong framework for sustainable operation. So these are very operational trends impacted by artificial intelligence, for example, but we do believe that the right approach to sustainability has to come with an harmonization of the people, the planet, and the profit. This is what was referred to in the previous intervention as the Renaissance, as mentioned before. Starting from the people, putting at the center the human effect, even with strong bulletproof AI application, putting the people at the center in an environment where they can collaborate, be empowered, they can grow their autonomy for the fulfillment of their professional life. So this means putting the people at the center. And then the planet, coming back to some lean approach, having the best plan possible to limit it as much as possible the non-added value activities, all the inefficiencies, all the scrap, with a circular approach, modelize the plan to do in the most optimal way, thanks to the virtual twin. And last, I would say least, but still there, the profit is also very relevant, right? Being able so to be quick and agile and changing decision in the most profitable way, with the ability to capture the value of the networks of suppliers, clients, stakeholders, influencer. You see the financial community. The financial community is convinced about this. They are investing in companies that are very strong and bulletproof in terms of sustainability. And look at the customer, the young generation, right? Are not going to work or buy products from companies that are not showing high credibility in terms of sustainability. So in the next slide, you see, for example, how to start applying this framework with a very specific focus on what we call the virtual twin experience, leveraging artificial intelligence kind of technology. Here, the best-in-class case is that we have seen applied by a number of customers of us. First, you start by creating a virtual model of your shop floor. There are many possibilities in making this happen, like, for example, using the 2D layouts to build a 3D model of the factory or the line, which also give you the added benefit of establishing greater infrastructure granularity, including, for example, the utilities. So you see, starting from a big picture and a big framework, then we are nailing down to real execution on the shop floor. Well, then is the second step. There is the clear need to leverage a platform. For us, it's the 3D experience platform, to expand the 3D factor model using many resources catalogs developed through the years to build up the 3D model. At this point, it is possible to take into account worker safety requirements and the standard operation procedures. So this is very operational. And then the third step, that in our opinion is also the most relevant, the one that is enriching the most the virtual twin, to define and simulate all your tools, the robots, the machines, as well as the workers' interaction, synchronizing every aspect of the operation from line start to the final checkpoint. There is the clear need to execute continuous improvement activities across operation, as well as validate product variants, all within a virtual twin experience in a single 3D experience platform. So you see in the next slide, that we do believe that a single platform is the foundation for supporting such a kind of virtual twin experience. It all starts with what we call the creation of a 3D digital model, so that you can virtually see what to accomplish, whether it's a product, it's a machine, or a whole factories of machines, materials, and people to produce thousands or even millions of products. Then equally important is to find the connection with the real world. So it's important to find the connection with the real world of the execution. And in that process, the learning and the experience taken from the real world processes are then used to update the virtual twin model, so that you can not only improve, but unleash new business creativity in this closed loop between the virtual and the real. This is the most relevant thing in terms of embodying this new attitude with the people in terms of creativity. So putting the human at the center, right? Achieving this closed loop capability is what we call the platforming your business. So the full realization of benefits to be gained from the convergence of the virtual and the real world. And it's really human. So we are talking about technology here, but it's really human. It's imaginative. It's immersive. It's collaborative. And in the collaboration, we do see in these few days where we cannot meet each other, right? In the collaboration, there is a lot of creativity. And it's simulative to unleash the creativity of the people in this virtual loop that is also real. And it's driven by, from the engineering point of view, from which of you is a bit more technical, if you like, it's a model-based engineering approach that is embodying by the platform every stakeholder across the enterprise that is collaborating with the latest information available, enabling this model-based approach with technologies that support our V plus R concept, virtual plus real concept, spanning everything from artificial intelligence, AR, VR tools, to 3D printing, to Internet of Things communication. And well, we can go to the next one, just to state that this idea is not new for us, for Dassault Systèmes. Actually, it's the natural consequence of our R&D effort in the last 40 years. 20,000 people, 270,000 customers all over the world. We have been the catalyst, I would say, if I'm able to say it, or not, I would say humble enough to say it. We are the catalyst and also the enabler of the world's greatest industrial transformation. We are into the fourth stage of our history, entering the fifth stage in a very near future. The first stage was 3D design to represent the surface of things. The second one The second stage was the 3D digital mockup to represent the entire complex system outside and inside. 3D pieces came together to simulate the complete engineering context of a virtual model. The third stage was the 3D model in the product lifecycle management. That is what we call the life cycle of the end-to-end product management. The fourth stage was the platform, the 3D experience platform, to represent in full the virtual twin experience. And in the near future, we will enter the fifth stage of this journey, moving from the representation of things to life. So what we call the virtual twin of experience. And then let's have a look in the next slide to something that is very practical, just to show you that it's not solely something theoretical, but actually our customers are showing this. So we can go to the next slide. The result of this vision is very practical. Virtual twin experience for the factory, such as this automotive sitting line. And we can go to the next video. To fully simulate the factory operation, to visualize and see and understand the synchronization of all the moving parts. You know, it's really technical, but just to show something very practical. Materials, workers, production line, robots, machines. That includes being able to bring in planning data and executing actual production runs to determine then where adjustments need to be made or the condition to be optimized, leveraging AI and machine learning technology. What I would like to say is that sometimes it doesn't work, but that's okay, because we are in the virtual twin experience. Because that is exactly when you want to find out whether worker safety, here again, I'm thinking about the human centricity, the worker safety is compromised by an ill-programmed robot or an EGV that is delivering pallets to the wrong spot in the line, or a forklift that can turn around in the space next to the line. No one will get hurt, and no equipment is damaged. And once the changes on the processes are made, the same scenario can be validated immediately. So once this virtual twin experience is created, it is really possible to put the human at the center with all the technologies that we mentioned before, including artificial intelligence, and drive then new resiliency into operation. In the next slide, another example where that we are seeing in these few days. There are new safety protocols in our companies, in our customer on-premise manufacturing sites. One of the largest impacts is driven by the social distancing. That is not only in the bar, in the restaurant, and so on, but this is also in our shop floor to reduce the spread of airborne condition. By employing the virtual twin experience, we can see specifically what the impact is when we reduce the number of workers to meet the physical distance requirements. A reduction of workers, for example, from 9 to 3, because this is required by the authorities. So with the virtual twin, this scenario can be validated and analyzed in a second. And from this, any number of what is scenarios can be run to figure out the optimal approach for the social distancing. And once optimized, the digital process plan can be updated and sent to the manufacturing execution system for review, testing, and acceptance. So this is technology put at the service of the human being, we do believe. Or another example, the last one, in the next slide. Well, we can mention something that is very familiar to many of you based on the recent pandemic responses. Let's look at in terms of how it could help your business as part of the next normal. And that's the ability to quickly begin making products you have never been able to make, and implants that were designed to make something else. The case is the quick pivot made by several companies to begin manufacturing respiratory ventilators in their plant. It happened a lot with automaker, car makers, for example. As you can see, the use case that addressed the pivot to build a portable ventilator is quite simple, from product design through manufacturing execution. In the next slide, you see a little video, And the result of this vision is very practical, like the following, right? With the virtual twin experience for the factories, such this automotive city line, you can fully simulate the factory operation to visually see and understand the synchronization of all the moving parts the video can start. Materials, workers, production line, robots, machine. That includes being able to bring in planning data and executing the actual production runs to determine where adjustments need to be made and conditions to be optimized, leveraging again AI and ML technologies. Sometimes it doesn't work, but again, it's perfectly okay, because that's exactly what you want to do in a virtual world. And then in the next slide, we would like to show, and we would like to say again, everything that has to do with the full adoption of the virtual twin. We do believe that as a call to action, we need to deliver, thanks to the virtual twin, a better customer service, faster new product introduction, a higher quality with continuous loop in terms of the virtual and real. And we do believe that is a very strong, very powerful method in order to put, as we said since the beginning on this, in these few days, the human at the center. So thank you very much for the opportunity today, and I hope that you enjoyed the presentation.
So I repeat the question. I had trouble with my mic. So there's a question from the audience, and the question for you is, digital twins are already widely applied to SMEs?
Well, there's a strong trend of democratization. Thanks to some technology like the cloud, we are able now, we are put in the condition to bring the best practices that we developed in the last 20 years at Airbus, Boeing, and other companies like this, and to percolate, to cross-fertilize such a kind of technology to the SME. So the answer is a strong yes. This is available and applied to many SMEs.
All right, thank you so much for this, and thanks for your presentation.
Thank you very much.